Jasmine owns a famous New York coffee shop, Coffee, which is famous citywide for its unique taste. Only Jasmine keeps the original copy of the recipe, and she only keeps it on her work laptop. Last week, James from the IT department was consulted to fix Jasmine's laptop, but it is suspected he may have copied the secret recipes from Jasmine's machine and is keeping them on his machine. His machine has been confiscated and examined, but no traces could be found. The security department has pulled some important registry artifacts from his device and has tasked you and me to examine these artifacts and determine the presence of secret files on his machine. This exercise is based on the secret recipe room that is inside of the Digital Forensics and Incident Response module of the SOC Level 1 pathway of TryHackMe. And essentially, all we're doing in this exercise is doing some investigations to try to find the answer to the various questions that are inside of this module. Look at this. There's a lot of questions inside this thing. So it's going to be a good one. It's going to be a fun one. I think we're going to get a chance to experiment a lot with some of these tools that are available, and hopefully we'll learn some cool things too. In this particular case, we actually have a Windows machine that is our virtual machine that I launched when I clicked the start machine right here. Since I'm already inside of this, I don't need to connect to it via RDP, but you can if you wanted to. These are the credentials to be able to log into it if you're using TryHackMe. This is actually a paid only room in TryHackMe. So if you're going to connect via your own computer, you need to have a VPN connection first using OpenVPN. And then from there, you can connect via RDP to this Windows machine. Since I'm already inside the machine, I'm not going to do any of that stuff. But I do need to check out these portions right here. So there's a folder named Artifacts that contains the registry hives, and another folder named Easy Tools that has all the tools that we need to make this thing happen. So I'm going to open this up in full screen so that we can get access to everything that's going on. And then the first question that we have here is how many items are inside of the Artifacts folder? And we have a total of, if we just highlight all of them, it shows us at the bottom right here, there are 6 items inside of that folder. So there we go, and we got our questions answered. So now let's move on to the serious questions here, the major questions, which is Windows Registry Forensics. All right, the registry, in case you didn't know, is a database, or it's like a database that contains a lot of juicy information about the system, the user that's on it, the activities of the user, the processes that were executed, and the files that were accessed, created, deleted, etc. So there's a lot of information inside of the registry. The registry hives have been pulled from the suspect host, and they're placed inside of our artifacts folder. And these are the 6 items that we're looking at over here. These are the registry hives that were pulled for us. All the required tools are also inside of our easy tools, as we already established. The challenge is to examine the registry hives using the tools provided, observe the user's activities, and answer the questions. So these are the hives, as we already saw. The download task files is a cheat sheet that can be used as a reference to answer the questions. So what is the computer name of the machine, etc., etc. So I'm just going to go through those one by one. I will actually download these task files to see what they look like. And let's open them up inside of our browser, and we can zoom in a little bit. And so these are, I feel like I actually have this, the registry forensics. I think I may have it. I think I do actually. The Windows Forensics cheat sheet sounds very familiar. And I believe it's already uploaded to the Google Drive folder for our users. So all of these cheat sheets are always uploaded to the Google Drive folder for all of our users to access. You don't need to be a member of Hackaholics Anonymous or anything like that. So I will put a link to this cheat sheet inside of the description of this video so you have access to it if you don't already have it. So it just shows you the locations of a bunch of different things depending on what we may be looking for. So these are all of the locations of various registry hives depending on the data that you need. So that's what's inside of our task file. So let's get started with the first question. Our question 1 is, what is the computer name of the machine that is found in the registry? And so what we're going to do is I'm going to, if we look at our cheat sheet right here, if we are looking for information about the system, so system info and accounts, You can have the current version of it that is inside of the software. The system also shows a bunch of stuff about it, system, NT user data, software, so on and so forth. So I do believe that we actually do have the system hive. So we do have the system hive. The software hive we do have as well. So there's a few different hives that we can potentially access with this. The first thing that we got to do is we got to open up the registry editor. I know that this is the logo for it, and the registry, or excuse me, registry explorer, my bad. So the registry explorer is the tool that we're going to be using to go through a variety of data points here. So I'm going to wait for that to load. Hopefully it won't take forever to load. And then we're going to load, I'm going to load the system registry first, and then we'll see if we can find the data that we need inside of the system registry. All right, so here we go. We got Registry Explorer open. We are going to click on File. We're going to click on Load Hive, and then it's going to bring us our Explorer here. And so we're going to go to the desktop, artifacts, so on and so forth, and we're just going to load the system. And usually when you do this, it asks if you want to make some kind of a clone of it. Okay, it didn't do that this time. So this is what it looks like when you have a hive loaded. Now, deleted records might be interesting. Unassociated deleted values might be interesting. First and foremost, we're just going to look at the root. And inside of the root, we're looking for the system data, basically. So let's try to find that information for us. Now, one of the ways, obviously, that you can do this is you can just click on any of these and open them up and then go further down the path of what's inside these things. But there's another thing that you can do is where you can just search for the item that you're looking for. So if I search for computer and then maybe even, oh, it actually even shows up in one of the results right here. So computer name could be potentially what we're looking for, right? So we can do computer name. If we just click on it, we will most likely get some kind of a data that we can use. So let's expand this and make it full screen. And the computer name, in this case, we have two. We have the computer name itself, which is James, and then there's a default value, which is M&M SRVC. So it is one of those two. So let's try James, and that is indeed the case. So James, and did they actually even give his name? I think they did, right? So James, yeah, James from the IT department. That was the guy. So that is our first answer to the first question. Is the computer name of the machine is James. So second question. The second question says, when was the administrator account created on this machine? And they want this format for the date. So if we go to our Windows Forensics cheat sheet, system and account info right here, at the very bottom right here, we have the SAM hive and user information. So we know that we need to use the SAM hive. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to close this so that that actually kind of expands itself, or excuse me, collapses itself. And then we're going to expand this to know which hive that we have over here. And I'm just going to load all of the hives, really. So just to kind of make it a little bit quicker and easier for us, I'm going to load all of these hives to be able to pull these in for whatever question that we have. So we'll give this a second and let's make sure that it loads properly. All right, cool. So now what we want to do is we want to go inside of the SAM hive to try to find that administrator username. And we can, again, just search for administrator and see if anything shows up inside of the SAM hive under that search results. And so there we go. Under SAM, we have root, domains, account, users, names, administrator, and so on and so forth. So we're just going to click on the administrator hive. The computer is kind of slow because it's a Windows virtual machine that is probably ancient. So let's give this a little bit time to load real quick. Okay, so we have this. This is the timestamp that is the last write timestamp of this. I wonder if we can open this and get some more data associated with this specific user. So let's see, because we want the date created timestamp. So let me see if I can open this up real quick. All right, so another way actually, so instead of clicking on the administrator itself, if you click on users, it will load everything that is inside of that, which includes the names of all of the users, including our administrator. And so what we have here is a variety of tabs here. And what we're looking for is the user created, I want to say, or created on, which would be one of these tabs right here. So I think this is it. Yeah, created on is the, what is it, the fourth tab. So valid user, and then there's the fifth. So technically the fifth tab, and then the username is administrator, and then we have all these other guys right here. So the administrator account was created on this particular date. So I'm gonna double click this and see if I can get the value of this, or maybe I can right click it and copy it. So let's see what we can find here. Okay, so unfortunately, it will not let me right click on this thing. I feel like it's like an issue that I have frequently with these softwares. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna write it on a notepad, and then from there we're gonna transfer it into our answer. So that at the very least we'll have it in that regard, and then hopefully it'll be the right answer, because all of this would feel kind of pointless if it wasn't the right answer. So I'm going to take this specific value and I put it inside of my notepad, and now we can put it in the format that they're looking for in this case, which is exactly how I copied it. So I can just go ahead and do a copy paste here, and that is the right answer. Perfect. So there we go. That's when the administrator account was created. So now moving on to the next question. What is the RID associated with the administrator account? So we can actually stay inside of the same hive that we're in, and now we're looking for the RID associated with this user account. I want to say that it's the user ID. I'm not sure if it's the user ID. So let's see, maybe 500 would be it. So let's see if it's 500. Yeah, it is. Okay, very good. So the role ID is probably what it is. So the RID for the administrator account is 500. That one was a quick one. So let us move to how many user accounts were observed on this machine. How many user accounts were observed on this machine? We can look at it here. I want to say that this actually will show us all of the user accounts that are associated with here. They are fairly large, so it's kind of tough to do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to this specific path right here and just count the folders that are under that path, which would be under the users and names. So we're going to go and do that. So under, make sure that you're in the right hive, because I was looking at the system hive because that was already expanded as well. So under the SAM hive, under users and then names, if you want to kind of just pause this real quick just to see how this whole thing showed up here. But under names, we have these values. So 3, 6, 7 would be the number of users that have been observed on this machine. Very good, making some decent progress here. So now, next question. There seems to be a suspicious account created as a backdoor with RID 1013. What is that account name? So we are looking for 1013, and it is all the way at the bottom right here, 1013, and the B door is the name of the suspicious account name. So B door. Next one. What is the VPN connection this host connected to? So what does the hint say? It says look for network list in the software hive, and we would have probably found that over here as well. So file and folder, system account info, evidence of execution, external device USBs, so on and so forth. So none of these things actually tell us where it is. So what we're looking for is the software hive in this particular case to be able to get the connections that we need. So the network interfaces, so on and so forth. And it really doesn't actually show us the name of the registry that would hold that. So which is probably why they actually gave it to us inside of the actual hint itself. So we're going to go here and we're going to close these down. And what we're looking for is the network, network list inside of the software hive, which is at the bottom right here. So I'm just going to type for network list. All right, here we go. So we got a network list actually only shows up under the software hive. So we're going to click on network list. And then what we're looking for is the VPN connection. And so we have the Proton VPN. And is that what they're asking for the name? So what is the VPN connection this host connected to? So let's see, Proton VPN. I wonder if that's the name. Yeah, so that's what they're looking for, is the actual name. So when was the first VPN connection observed? When was the first VPN connection observed? And we want that date format. And so we have this right here. So first connection, local, last connection, local. So that is what we're looking for, is this date. So let me see if I can't copy or paste any of these values. And that is really, oh, you know what? What if I did Control C? I wonder if I did Control C, if that would work. Or maybe if we have anything at the bottom right here for these values of Proton VPN, maybe I can find that in these values. Okay, there's nothing at the bottom right there. So I'm going to right click on this, or I'm going to click on it, and I'm going to do Control C and see if that copied it. It did copy it. That's cool. Okay, great. So that actually works. And boom, just like that, we got it. You just have to remove the first connect portion of it. All right, making some decent progress here. Let's move on to the next one. There were 3 shared folders observed on this machine. What's the path of the third share? So if we go to our little cheat sheet right here, we're looking for shared folders, and it doesn't really show any of that stuff over here. Or file and folder usage. There we go. File and folder usage. Last visited dialog, Windows Vault address search bar, shell bangs, recent, etc., recent files, evidence of execution. So none of these things will share anything with us, unfortunately. So I want to say it's going to be on the system info, or file and folder usage can also be a very important portion of this. So got to see which one it is. So we have, what do we have? We have the various hives over here. That is the software, anti-user, SAM security, user class, again, software, or actually system, software, user class, etc. So since the registries or the registers that are listed here are not inside, we have the anti-user data, and anti-user data is also here as well. So it could be that, it could be the system, or it could be anti-user data from what it looks like. So I'm going to just kind of browse through these, and whichever one I find, I will let you know where I found it. We can also search for, I guess, shared. That could possibly be a key term that we can search for. So let's start with searching for share and see where that shows up. Okay, so share has brought up some interesting locations. Group policy network shares. We have shared access. Let's see, there's a few different things that are here. So specifically what we're looking for are files and folders specifically. So I want to say it's probably anything that goes under shared access or shared, let's see, shared files maybe. The LANman server shares. I think this is it. So specifically this is going to be the one, LANman server shares. I want to say that is it. And that should, I think, yeah, I think that's pretty much it. So LANman server shares would probably be the one. And now what we want is the location of the third share, which would be the restricted files. And what we're looking for is the actual path. So let me see, let me make sure I have this right. I think that's it though. If we click on the actual value itself and then come down here, inside of all the values, there's something called the path value. And this we can just highlight, do Control C, and that should copy it. And then there we go. Now we have that. There we go. So that is how we found the location of the shared folder, the third value, the third path of the shared folder. So let's go into the next question here. What is the last DHCP dynamic host protocol IP that was assigned to this host? And our hint says it starts with 172. So what we're looking for is the DHCP IP connection, which would fall under connections. So let's see, evidence of execution, devices. We're mostly looking for connections. So let's see what we can find in our cheat sheet real quick. And we have network interfaces and past networks. That could potentially be it. So it's under the system, TCP IP interfaces. And there is nothing else that I can see that would potentially be it. So I think that might be my path to try to find, or at least the hint that I would use to try to find that location. So we're looking for network connections, DHCP IP, and from what I understand, it's going to be in systems. So let's see, the full path here was system, parameter, interfaces, so on and forth. So system, current control. I'm just going to highlight this and paste it in my notebook, and then we'll come back to that specific location. So let's go over here. Okay, so I actually just ended up searching for interfaces, but that has brought up a lot of value. So the specific one that we're looking for has to do with TCP IP, And my goodness, there's so many of them. So let's try to find the TCP IP interfaces values. Okay, there it is, TCP IP, parameters, interfaces. So we're going to click on this one, and it's going to show us a variety of IP addresses, and then they told us to look for the one with the hint starting with 172, which is this piece right here. So 3101, 3102, 312197. So these are the various ones right here. So if I click on any of these, I wonder if it shows at the bottom. I don't think it does, but we can of course do the Control-C to just copy it. So let's see if that's it. DHCP address right there. Let's see. And that is indeed the answer. So it's actually the one that has the full IP address 2197 at the end of it. So 172.312.197. That is the IP address for DHCP, last IP assigned to this host. So let's move on to the next one. The suspect seems to have accessed a file containing the secret coffee recipe. What is the name of the file? And we are looking for file data here. So they accessed a file containing the secret coffee recipe. Let's see, what would that file, it's probably named file. So we can actually, no, you know what, there's something, hold on, there, yeah, literally right here, it shows it at the top right here. So recent documents is what we're looking for. So it's inside of the NT-user DAT registry. And so what we're gonna do is we're gonna look for recent documents inside of the NT-user registry. So let's do recent docs. All right, so here we go. It loaded, and we have the NT-user data registry right here. And inside of that, we have the recent doc folder. And the recent doc folder loading for us has a great bunch of information. And then we have secret code.txt, and then we have secret recipe.pdf. That is most likely the file that we're looking for in this particular case. There's a lot of them. Secret recipe.pdf was accessed a few times. So the question here is, what is the name of the file? So it would be secret recipe, so secret-recipe.pdf, and there's that. So the next question is going to say, the suspect ran multiple commands in the run windows. What command was run to enumerate the network interfaces? So we're looking for command line data, and that will most likely, it might be inside of the execution. I don't think it is. It doesn't say that it is. So over here we have some shell bangs, or shell bags, excuse me, shell bangs, shell bags. It could be a shell, because the command line is often referred to as a shell, and that is the big piece. I feel like it's going to be inside the shells. So let's see if that is indeed the case. So that would be the NT-user data registry as well. And what we're looking for is a command that has to do with the, what is it? The Windows, what command was used to enumerate the network interface? Okay, so the hint here is in the run windows. So commands in the run windows. That's our hint. So what we're going to look for is run as our search term, and it would most likely be inside the NT-user registry as well, but we're looking for run in this particular case. I think that'll show us the run commands, or the commands that will run. So you're going to have run time, obviously that's going to show up a lot, but what we're looking for specifically is inside of the Explorer registry, not the registry, but inside of the Explorer source of data. So let's see what I can find as far as that is concerned. So again, making sure that we're in the proper hive, because run shows up in a lot of these various registries. It showed up for system as well as software. So as long as you're in the NT-user registry, you can find the run that shows up for a variety of things, one of them being Explorer, and Explorer is a big one. So I think it's going to be probably the run we'll see, we'll check both of them. I'm going to click on this to see what shows up for me. So we're going to do run MRU, and then we also have the run that is under startup approved. There's nothing inside of the run for startup approved, so we're going to do run MRU, and now we have these various tools right here. So what we're looking for is enumeration, right? So enumeration We have enum interfaces and we have enum devices, and they're looking for network interfaces. So we're gonna highlight this one. We're gonna do Control C, and then we're gonna bring it over here, and we're going to execute the PNP util for enum interfaces, and there it is. So now, next one. In the File Explorer, the user searched for a network utility to transfer files. And what is the name of that tool? So in the File Explorer right here, network utility to transfer files, what's the name of that tool? Since we know that they searched for something, we can look inside of the NT user registry for the word wheel query, not world wheel. So for the word wheel query, we can look inside of this registry, and it's going to be again inside of this, and it'll be under Explorer. So I'm just gonna get rid of run, and we'll still be here. And under Explorer, we should have something for word wheel. So I'm gonna go and find that piece, because word wheel is where all of these search parameters would be for us. And once we find that, we should, there we go, there's word wheel. Then we should be able to find what they looked for. So there's secret files, netcat, recipe, and recipes. And what they want is a network utility to transfer files. And I know for a fact that netcat is a network utility that can actually be used to do that. So let's see if it is indeed netcat. It is netcat. So netcat is a connection utility that you can create reverse shells between two machines and two endpoints. So that is a powerful tool that they can use to transfer files. So now the next question here, and we're almost done here. So the next one is, what is the recent text file that was opened by the suspect? So we can also go to our recent documents. I should have probably just kept that up because there were multiple queries that I saw in the recent docs that seemed of interest, because there were a few of them that had the word secret in it. So recent doc, we're gonna load that again, and so it's going to be here. I want to say that it was here that we had it. So right here, there we go. So secret code.txt is the name of this. So we're just gonna do Control C here to make our life easier. Target name secret code. There we go. Cool. Making some good progress. We have a handful and we're done. We want to know how many times PowerShell was executed on this host. And this would be something that was executed by the user. It would also be a software that they executed. So file or folder usage or knowledge. So we're looking for something that was executed or used by the person. So it wouldn't be under address or search bars. It wouldn't be open or save. Potentially could be. Shellbags might be a recent files or recent file. So any of these things I feel like would not be what we're looking for. So we're looking for something that has to do with software, because it is PowerShell. And it would be NT user data, it would be software, of course, Microsoft Windows, the probably current version. None of these things are actually here. So current version, we have that here as well, Explorer, and we're looking for something that is relevant to softwares that they were run. So we're going to go all the way to that, and then we're going to try to look for something else that would potentially yield PowerShell for us. Okay, so after a little bit of Googling, I believe there is something called user assist that we can look into that would be inside of the NT user data. And the user assist would show us the number of times that they opened any software, and there's a folder called count. So I need to actually make sure that I'm in, so I'm gonna close this because it's only bringing up user assist. But what we're looking for is the count folder for user assist. So let me see, it would be current version Explorer. Well, let me zoom out a little bit so I can find it. Explorer and user assist, and then there should be something like count inside of it. So let's see if I can find that. I see. Okay, so there is no specific thing for count, but we do see that there are a number of user assist items that do show up, and in this particular case, each one of these has its own kind of like jargoned type of ID, I guess, and then from that we can also see there's a count for each one of them. So the one that we are interested in would ideally have a count of more than one. So there we go, 15 count right here would probably be a good one. And then let's see what else we can find here. There's 0 in that one. I'm going to open these up. Ooh, 46 in this one. That's probably a strong one. That might be it. Let's see what else we can find here. Count 0. Okay, so all the stuff under user assist has a count of 0 with the exception of 15 here and 46 here. So the 46 one we have open right here. And the question again was PowerShell. So how many times was PowerShell executed inside of this? So we're looking for PowerShell inside of all of these commands right here to see how many times that was run. So I have Windows PowerShell that was run 3 times for this particular case. Let me see if I have it again. Windows PowerShell run 3 times here. So that could potentially be it. I don't know if we might need to add all of those things up together. So let's see if there are any other instances of PowerShell that show up in this particular count. Okay, to actually make life easier, we can go inside on the right side, there was a little magnifying glass that you can click on and you can search through all of the results here. And so I have PowerShell shows up on 2 instances. So it could either be 3 for each individual one, or it could be the combined version. PowerShell ISE is for scripting, so that may be it or it may not. So how many times was it executed on this host? We can say 3. Okay, so 3 is the right answer. So we didn't have to combine it for 6. But yeah, PowerShell was executed 3 times on this particular host. So now there's another one. The suspect also executed a network monitoring tool was the name of the tool. So that would also be in these executions that we have over here. So we can close this out. And so now what we're looking for is network monitoring. So if you know anything about network monitoring, the name Wireshark would be a big hint for you. So Wireshark has shown up a couple of times in this instance. So I'm going to say that it was Wireshark that was the tool that they used, because it is a network monitoring tool. Wireshark does traffic sniffing, monitoring the network traffic, so on and so forth. Okay, last 2 questions. We're almost done here. Registry Hives also notes the amount of time a process is in focus. Examine the hives for how many seconds was Proton VPN executed. So we're looking for something of how many times a process was in focus. I mean, I think it's already in this location that we're in here. So I'm going to go do this. I'm going to, because it also has focus time that's available for us over here. So what we're going to do is we're going to search for Proton VPN now and see what shows up. We have 2 instances of Proton VPN, and the focus time is asking for us. So what is it? How many seconds was it in focus? So, I mean, 2 minutes, 38 seconds. Am I supposed to add all of this up? I think, right? So focus time, 2 minutes, 38 seconds. So add all of that up. Okay, so 2 minutes, 38 seconds. So 2 minutes at 60 each. Obviously, it would be 120 plus 38. It would be 158. And that is not the right answer. So it has to be this next one. So 5 times 6 would be 300. And 343 would most likely be our other answer. There we go. So 343. For 343 seconds, the Proton VPN was executed. And finally, Everything exe is a utility used to search for files on a Windows machine. What is the full path from which it was executed? So we're going to go here again, and we're just going to search for everything and find the path for everything exe. So there it is. Program name was executed from this path, and I'm going to copy that, and I'm going to go here, and I believe that's the right answer, the final answer. So let's make sure that it actually removes that program name and press enter. Hey, officially we are done with this task here, or with this entire lab actually, the secret recipe lab. We are finally done. That wasn't bad. That was pretty, I mean, I don't want to say it's pretty easy, but it was fairly painless, I want to say. It was pretty good. You just have to know where you're looking. And I used our cheat sheet that was over here, and I used Google, our handy dandy Google, to be able to get some of these locations. But for the most part, you can find, because it only gave us 6 registry hives to search through anyway, you can kind of use that as a process of elimination, so to speak, to be able to find the correct registry to search through and to be able to get the answers that you need. So that was it for the secret recipe room, which was inside of the SOC Level 1 pathway, which is the very last thing under the digital forensics and incident response, which means we're actually done with the DFIR module of SOC Level 1. And now we have the last room that they added for phishing. And then we have these 4 tasks at the very end for SOC Level 1 capstone challenges, which then will wrap SOC Level 1 again, because I already wrapped it one time months ago, and then they added all these rooms. So until the next time that they add more rooms to SOC Level 1, we're going to be done with SOC Level 1 in a few other rooms, and then that'll be it. And we can move on back to SOC Level 2. If you found this room useful, this video useful, and you would like to get more videos like this one, I do recommend that you like, subscribe, turn on the notification bell so that you get notified the next time that a video comes out. And of course, go search through everything that we have on the channel, because there's an actual playlist for SOC Level 1 that already has everything that we've done on SOC Level 1. And now we're just adding these extra videos at the very end of it so that you have the full scope of everything that was inside of that pathway. So make sure that you like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so that you get notified the next time that a video comes out for the SOC Level 1 pathway. And of course, drop a comment if you have any questions, if you just want to say hi, if you want to say thank you, whatever it is. I really appreciate gratitude. And if you have any questions, I will definitely answer your question inside of the comment section. And if it's a really good question, I will create a video in response to your question. So I would love to see you in the comments inside of the community. And of course, like, subscribe, turn on the notification bell so that you get notified the next time that a video comes out. And if you want real access, direct access to me, I do recommend that you check out Hackaholics Anonymous, which is our membership community. There are 4 tiers associated with it. I just added a Discord server for the very first tier, which is our supporter tier. $4.99 is nothing. I know people spend more money on coffee per day than that $4.99. So you can get access to me. You can get access to all of our advanced members by going through that Discord server. But then we also have really amazing stuff for all of our advanced members. So coming in at Cyber Agent or Cyber Guardian or Cyber Master, you will get Python automations of various levels. You get exclusive content, exclusive downloads, and manuals that I create that I'm working on. There's a really big manual, the PenTesting manual that I've worked on, and I gave that link to all of our advanced members, but I'm constantly adding more to it. There's a lot of perks that are associated with Hackaholics Anonymous. So you can either watch this video, which is 14 minutes, and you get all the details of the perks, or if you click on this read more button right here, you will get the description, and then from there you can see everything that's available inside of Hackaholics Anonymous. So if you haven't checked it out already, I recommend you check out the Hackaholics Anonymous membership community on YouTube, the premier community for security professionals and hackers. It's your boy Hank Hackerson at Hank Hacks Hackers, your favorite network and system attacker / protector. Love, peace, and chicken grease. If no one else loves you, Hank loves you, and I'll see you in the next video later.